Governor just gave NFL players worst news of season with what he said they should really be protesting. It seems that everyone in America has an opinion about the national anthem protest taking place at NFL games. What started out as one rogue, disgruntled player whose actions were tolerated as the reflection of a fringe sentiment has ballooned into being the visualization of a rebellion against everything our founding fathers built this nation on. What started out as one rogue, disgruntled player whose actions were tolerated as the reflection of a fringe sentiment has ballooned into being the visualization of a rebellion against everything our founding fathers built this nation on. There are many issues that have made loyal Americans upset about the players who protest the anthem. First and foremost, no matter what your problem with a particular group of people, you are allowed to protest because of the freedoms afforded you by the greatest country on earth, aka America. One other great reason is that this protest against police brutality seems to be not only flimsy, but a front for other issues as well, like their hatred of President Trump, or rebellion against being told what to do. Many solutions have been offered to try and heal the shredded National Football League, but according to The Hill, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker has an idea. Maybe instead of stopping all protesting, they should just protest something that's actually bad, like domestic violence. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, on Monday called on the NFL to focus on speaking out against domestic violence, arguing the issue could potentially unite a sports league mired in controversy over national anthem protests. In a letter to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and National Football League Players Association Executive Director DeMaurice Smith, Walker said players should stop protesting during the national anthem and instead concentrate on combating domestic violence. It is time for players in the NFL to stop protests during the anthem and move on from what has become a divisive political sideshow, Walker wrote in the letter. Instead, I encourage them to use their voices and influence to take a stand against domestic violence. With the NFL owners meeting occurring tomorrow, during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, now would be an especially opportune time to strongly condemn domestic violence and lead the charge in supporting safe families across America, he continued. Domestic violence does seem to be a much bigger problem in the United States than police brutality, or gender wage gap or any other flavor of the week that the kneelers claim to be protesting. In fact, if hundreds of NFL players declared that they would be kneeling to defend the victims of domestic abuse, they might actually make a difference with their teammates that have a habit of slapping their significant others around. The problem with that protest is that they might actually have to do something to intervene if some of their buddies were caught doing something close to home. Not to mention, it's an us problem instead of a them problem. Meaning, it's something that they could get some backlash from their own friends and family if they protested. While this might seem like a distraction technique on the part of the governor, it's actually something that he holds very near and dear to his own heart. It's something that Scott has been working to resolve in his own home state for some time. He recently spent time listening to the survivors of domestic abuse at the state capitol in Wisconsin, and he was touched by their stories. As I sat and heard these amazing stories, it occurred to me that NFL players could have a remarkable impact on awareness and prevention efforts if each player would agree to speak out, as well as agree to take a personal stand against domestic violence. This is an issue that can unite people across America, the governor wrote. Walker's letter comes as the NFL this week holds its league meetings, where it is expected to discuss the issue of the national anthem protests. President Trump sparked a controversy last month by suggesting NFL owners fire players who choose to kneel, rather than stand, during the Star-Spangled Banner. His comments at an Alabama campaign rally have led to widespread protests across the NFL. The national anthem protest has morphed into something unrecognizable at this point. Just because you feel strongly about something, doesn't mean that any retaliation that you have is an appropriate one. And that's a lesson that the NFL seems determined to learn the hard way. Their players are protesting something that they don't seem to understand. They're taking the actions of police that they object to and protesting it by alienating the majority of the nation. The very same nation that would need to be moved with compassion to change the laws they want to be changed. They also don't seem to be proposing any real solution, just perpetuating a grievance without giving any hope of resolution. If Americans want to see an end to this disrespect, unfortunately, there's nothing to be done other than exactly what we're doing: take away the money. Maybe if we carry on with this boycott, the angered players will quit and start social justice warrioring full-time, like their buddy Colin Kaepernick. That seems to be working out great for him. Share if you think that the NFL should choose a real cause to protest.